Hey y'all, it's Malika here, also known as Ifanike Oyagbire, helping with Give Nola Day to Last Call. Last Call is a just kind of near and dear to my heart. Over the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years, I've done some benefit burlesque work with them. And I've gone to the Last Call play. I went twice. If I could have gone more, I absolutely would have. I would love to go to it again, like probably 5 or 6 more times, if possible. And if ever they are selling a DVD or a link or whatever to a filmed production of it, I will be there. So just to give y'all a little bit of an idea of how passionate I am about Last Call and just how awesome it is. So this is Giving Tuesday in New Orleans, and I was asked to contribute. So I thought that as a tarot reader, I might be able to pull some cards today. This is just such a tumultuous, heartbreaking time and a scary time. It was already scary and jacked up before the most recent, highly publicized murders and just the pandemic, the epidemic that is racism, the pandemic that is coronavirus, is taking a lot of energy. And so I figured that maybe I could pull some cards to shed some light on where we are now, what we can do about it, and what the outcome will be should we take the action suggested in the cards. And if you are ever interested in your own tarot reading, I've been reading for 21 years, and you can check me out at purpledoorneworleans.com. Lots of cool stuff on there. And definitely please give to Last Call. Absolutely. Queer voices, queer stories, queer histories. More important work. There is no more important work than to share those stories and that history. So let's see what we have. All right, so situation as it is, action to be taken, outcome. Should we choose to take that action? All right, so the situation as it is a major arcana card. Major arcana and a tarot deck, those are the most powerful cards in the deck. So your actions don't sway them one way or the other. It is the goddesses, because I'm using, by the way, the Mythical Goddess Tarot deck by Sage Holloway and Catherine Skaggs. And it's goddesses. The major arcana are goddesses from all over the world. So this is Yamaya, okay, or Yamonja. You may know her by a few names. She is the mother of fishes, okay? So some people see her as the queen of the ocean. But she's known first and foremost as a maternal goddess. Now, because it says the situation, because our situation as it is, this card denotes how things are without bias, and it's major arcana. It means that this is in divine alignment. It means that everything that's going on right now is going on for a reason. And that's very hard to accept or swallow because I don't believe that murder and racism, discrimination, and hate are in divine alignment. What I think is in divine alignment is light work. And what light does is it casts out darkness. It doesn't leave space for shadow. You can't hide anymore. And we are definitely being blinded by the light right now. The comfortable status quo that some of us have been keeping, self included, has been shaken. The fact that I myself have bought into the American dream while not realizing I did. I thought I was super woke, yo. I was raised by a black lesbian. Well, she was my mom. Okay, so not just a random black lesbian, but a black lesbian academician. Her field was Africana studies, women's studies, theater, drama, film, and queer studies. Okay, so she was a total G. Ashe to Dr. Elizabeth Amelia Hadley. Check out some of her work. Very powerful ancestor and half of my DNA. She raised me to be very aware. I went to school with a I am a mini feminist pin by third grade. I had like the red, black, and green Africa medallion. Like I was raised to know that the red, white, and blue was supplanted in my household with red, black, and green. Um, and yet still, I am heartbroken and shocked by the hateful actions that happen uh, in my own country. So, Yemaya, the oracle, you see that there is a full moon behind her and a crescent moon in the corner. When moons show up in card readings, it means that there is dream work to be done. Okay, this is a great time to start keeping dream journals. Whatever's coming up in your dreams is powerful information right now. I am not a big one for keeping like a notepad by my bed with a pen, or I am, but I don't actually use it. What I do is I will leave myself a voice memo upon awakening because it's just easier to do. Leave a voice memo or jot it down, everything you remember from your dreams before they dissipate. Now, if you are someone who does not remember your dreams, write down, make a note of the feelings you had upon awakening before they begin to dissipate. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, you go through your day, the goings on of your day, while going over that journal entry, be it an audio journal entry or a written one, and see where your feelings that you woke up with, your dreams, connected with what happened in your day. What that does is it creates a bridge between your subconscious and your conscious mind, making your intuition of practical use. Okay, so Yemaya, that's what's going on right now. The oracle, as I said, everything is being peeled back. That we are seeing behind the curtain. The curtain is on fire. Okay, there's no more hiding from what's going on, and the action to be taken with this card is always to keep a dream journal. Pay attention to your dream journals a lot, or your dreams rather, and a lot of times that is how our ancestors contact us, is in our sleep state. The second card is the action to be taken. So this card gives you an action as well, so dream journal, but it's telling you that the situation as it is a time for meditation. This is a time to tap into your intuition and trust it. Action to be taken is courage. This is a fire card. In a standard tarot deck, this would be wands. Fire is the passion suit. It has to do with your driving force, that which keeps you going, even when you don't think you're scraping the bottom, you don't think you have anything else left to be keeping going for. That is what the wands / fire suit is about. Now, the courage card. This picture depicts this young woman trying to feed this lion. Now, in order for this exchange to go safely for both, she has to trust the lion is not going to take her hand off. The lion has to trust she does not mean him harm. So I think that the B side of courage is trust. Now, trust does not mean trust carte blanche, like trust that you... I think we confuse the word trust with the concept of trusting we won't get hurt. The human condition and having relationships with other humans means that we will get hurt. It's a part of it. We will also hurt others. The question is, was there malice behind what happened that ended up in that hurt? And were there amends made? Was there corrective behavior to ensure that it doesn't happen again? There is a difference between the people in our lives who hurt us on purpose and the people we hurt on purpose, and just the day-to-day. Sometimes you just carelessly, we're careless a lot of times with each other, and you end up hurting somebody's feelings and it wasn't your intent. Do you clean it up? Okay, so that's the trust. You can trust people to be who they have shown themselves to be. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't change, that they won't change. It does mean if you have good information, you have good information. Don't try to talk yourself out of it. Trust also means I can trust you to stay over there, or trust myself to hold my boundaries is a better way to put it. Because if I have better information about you now, and that information lets me know that you're someone who doesn't need to be close to me, then I'm going to trust that information. And it takes courage to do that, because often the people in our lives who are closest to us can be the people that maybe don't need to be that close, but they're our comfort, right? They're that security blanket. We don't want to believe the worst about them. Even if we know the worst about them, we can try to talk ourselves out of that. The action to be taken is to have courage. the courage to see the truth, accept the truth, and for your part, your side of the street, to be able to change, and shift your own behaviors to honor that truth. And so courage is needed now. My mother, a quote from my mother, again, Dr. Elizabeth Amelia Hadley, she is definitely very present with me today, and probably always, but I think I'm feeling her more today than usual. Um, just waking up in the morning and walking out of your front door is a revolutionary act. It takes courage. It especially takes courage today to leave the house, because of being afraid of being shot, being afraid of loved ones being shot, being afraid of COVID-19, which at this point is almost secondary to the fear of the violence. And the violence comes from fear also. Let's be real clear. That is the root of it. Courage. Courage does not mean lack of fear. Courage means not allowing your actions to be dictated by that fear. So that's the action to be taken. And the last card I have is the outcome, should we choose to take that action, and it's child innocence. So this is a C's card. C's in a standard tarot deck would be cups. It has a relationship card. It has to do with emotion. It has to do with relationships, both familial and otherwise, be they work or even adversarial. And sometimes familial relationships are also adversarial. But the outcome of that courage is the return to child innocence. So we see that this baby is asleep in this cowrie shell and is in the tumult of the ocean. But she is sleeping soundly, because the children in this deck are always the idyllic children. These are children who have never known fear. They have always been protected. Their only job has only ever been to explore, be kids, and find what brings them joy. Okay, so this denotes a baby who has never known fear, has never known danger, has always been protected. Where this connects with us is that we have already lived through 100% of everything that's ever happened to us. That is a very strong precedent that we will, at least for today, be able to continue to do so. So that return to child innocence, that feeling of being protected and watched out for and looked out for by the universe, the divine, by our ancestors, it's the return to that trust of that feeling of that child innocence, that in spite of everything that is going on right now, we are ultimately protected. We have always been protected. We will always be protected. Now, a word on this protection, because I know right now a lot of folks are hearing that and they're like, oh, we're protected. Why are we dying? Protection from a spiritual and ancestral level does not often translate into what we on the physical plane see as protection. Protection doesn't guarantee getting home safely. Protection doesn't guarantee we will not experience pain. What this child protection means is it's guaranteed that whose we are those who came before. And what we have some kind of control over is who we are. And the way to strengthen who we are and be able to be proud of who we are and to move in that courage, strength, and grace is to be connected with those who came before. I've been seeing a lot of commentary about how, from the youngins, about how I'm not my ancestors. I'll mess you up. So our ancestors weren't passive, just so we're clear. It's interesting because a youngster shared my post because I said Nat Turner, anybody? Haiti, Saint Domingue. The Mau Maus, okay, hello. And a youngin kind of shared my post and she was like, I hear what she's saying, but our ancestors really did this through peaceful resistance. This is not a time for peaceful resistance. I had to, because I was like, Malika, you didn't always know. And in 10 years, I'll realize what I don't know now. But Nat Turner beheading slave masters, Haiti, Saint-Domingue, the massacre of the slave masters by those who had been enslaved, the Mau Maus jumping out the trees in East Africa and slitting the throats of the English. Yeah. This ain't new, okay? This is not new. The message that's important to remember is that the whole life for a life is spurious catharsis, right? Which I admittedly, by the way, I just have to share this, y'all. I learned that term from Noah's Ark, the character Chance Encounters, Professor Encounter, rather. But yeah, spurious catharsis. It means that, it feels good in the moment. But, you take out one of them, they going to take out 10 of us and anybody who looks like you. It's not a solution. I understand the inclination. My feeling is enraged when that rage comes up, and it's such a dangerous thing because we're all walking around with PTSS, post-traumatic slave disorder, or post-traumatic slave syndrome. Dr. Joy DeGruy coined the term. Look it up. The reason she coined the term and actually was able to break it down as an actual pathology is that PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, most people of color in the DSM-5, which is how they diagnose you, right, in on a mental health scale. In the DSM-5, in order to be given the diagnosis of any of the traits in that big volume, you got to carry 3 or 4 of the traits of a list of 10 to 12 to 15 possible traits that mean you have this thing. If you got 3 to 4, you have this thing. She looked at it, and most people of color in America are carrying every item on the list of PTSD. We are all walking around with all 13, 15, however many telltale signs that you have this thing. We have this thing. So she coined PTSS because it's beyond PTSD for us. So I understand this whole desire to lash out with physical aggression. I understand the desire to burn it down because clearly what's here, it's not working. It has been not working. It is only serving a very small number of people. And truth be told, it's not serving them either. I saw a really excellent post by Dr. Nadia Bowles. I forget her last name. And she's a Caucasian ally pastor with really awesome tattoos, by the way. And she was saying that this whole desire, and they talk about this in the book White Fragility as well, and I'm Still Here also, this whole desire to see ourselves as good. And for Caucasians, the non-blacks in our lives, to see themselves as good people is at the detriment of their soul. Because their need to see themselves as good people means that they are closed to seeing where they grew up in a system that is oppressive and that they are complicit, if not actively, complicit and gaining benefits from that oppression, from that system that they were born into. Where that comes in for people of color is it'll hurt my soul to continue to walk around believing there's nothing new that I can learn, nothing new that I can do. Okay. And so what all of this has to do with is just the reminder that, yes, we can burn it down. It is not a solution. It is spurious catharsis. It is going to be short-lived. They are going to kill more of us, and they are going to feel justified in doing so. The answer now is light work. Work with the ancestors. I saw a post by Dr. G. Love. She said, it was a quote by a friend of hers, don't underestimate the power of ancestral work in the light of this pandemic and in the light of the massacre of Black bodies going on today in our country, and worldwide. So this is just a call to come back to that spirit work, so we can return to that child innocence, and to know what that child innocence means is that we are taken care of, and that being taken care of does not always equal physical safety, but it does mean that our work is not in vain. So that is my contribution. Please give to Last Call NOLA. And again, if you are interested in learning more about me and my work, definitely check out purpledoorneworleans.com and give. It's Giving Tuesday, and give to this wonderful city, New Orleans. Give to Last Call, and do what you can. Let's do what we can.